Howdy folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of White Dwarf magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys and goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this month we're on issue 480 of White Dwarf magazine, and we have these two pull-out sections in the magazine that are literally for creating a little game that you can utilise with for 40k. It's not too bad, it's pretty decent, and all the rules are explained inside the issue as well. But without further ado, let's crack on with it, shall we? So, starting off in one of my favourite sections of the magazine, the contact section, where people send in some of the photos of their awesome minis and questions and letters and everything like that. And we can start off with one of the ones that definitely stands out. This Kurdos Valetian, the Craven King mini. This is really well done. I must admit, I really like this mini. Absolutely fantastic. A good use of part of the Sigmarite Mausoleum on the base as well. Makes the base a lot more detailed and a lot different and a lot better. And really cool stuff. We also have some awesome Wolfguard Terminators from the Space Wolves range just down here as well. One of my favourite good old Space Marines chapters, good old Space Wolves are, and really good to see some more of those on the pages. Then, you know, we're not going to skip past it, an awesome Magnus for Red model, absolutely brilliant. I love the style of that, it's absolutely fantastic and it's really well done. Looks very kind of arty comic book style way it's been done. It's absolutely fantastic. It's really good mini, fantastically painted. Can't say enough kind of good positive things about it. On the opposite page though, there is things like the Myanmar Banshees, which look absolutely brilliant as well in purple, kind of greyish purple as well, which looks really good and quite ethereal at the same time. We also have some purple and kind of pale pink squigs, which look very different and really quite enjoyable. And then on the final pages we have some awesome spirit hosts up in that corner, which look really good. So an icy spirit host, jungle spirit host, and fire spirit hosts, which look really cool. We also have some awesome cipher lords as well, which are one of the Warcry warbands. It looks fantastic, especially that bright red and white contrasting paint scheme is a really well done. We also have some awesome Harlequin troop and an awesome Crimson Court as well, which look really cool. Absolutely fantastic stuff. They look really good. A lot of really well painted minis on the pages again. Absolutely fantastic. I must admit, I need to pull my finger out and try and get some photos of my own in there just for a giggle. But it's really cool. I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy seeing this section because it gives you a little bit of inspiration for certain minis, and you know, seeing some techniques that I must admit even I'm not very good at. Things like the checkerboarding on the Harlequins is just stand out. It's just really good stuff, and a lot of time and effort being put into pretty much all of them. So it's really good stuff to see. Starting off in the 41st millennium though, we have the Flashpoint Nephilim is continuing on with the kind of constant war between the Necrons and every other alien race that they encounter really, especially the Space Marines going up against each other. Really good, a lot of information about the actual Flashpoint itself and the way that the kind of the 41st Millennium's wars are going on. And we also get the instructions of how to play the Rising Tomb campaign, which is with them little tiles when they're all cut out. Really worth a read and giving it a try, because it is pretty something pretty different and a different way of playing, and is pretty good. And yeah, definitely worth having a read through. Sticking with 40k though, we have an awesome section for Kill Team. So if you're into Kill Team, this is obviously where some of the White Dwarf members are going through a good old campaign. So 5 of them are going up against each other for Kill Team, and we can see how they're getting on. So you have an Orc Commandos Kill Team, where currently have 5 requisition points and 3 asset capacity. We have the Harlequin Void Dancer Troop, which are also doing really pretty decent as well, with 5 requisition points and 2 asset capacity. And then it all starts going downhill for things like the Thousand Sons, who aren't doing as well with 1 requisition point and only 2 asset capacity. They have done both their missions though, their kind of operations 1 and 2 though, so they are doing quite well out of some of it. And then 1 and 2 for the good old Astra Militarum as well, and then the Tau also on the same kind of level playing field. So all of them are doing their bits and pieces, and some of them are doing better than others, but some of them are also doing slightly poor. So for Kill Team, it does work pretty well, and it's quite interesting to read through as well. There's also some operational guide as well and everything like that as well for Kill Team and how to go through it. Quite enjoyable to read. It's a pretty decent little section of a magazine, so definitely worth a blast if you're into your 40k Kill Team. Heading into the Mortal Realms, though, we have a awesome section for the Flashpoint Clash carrying on through the battles of the Realm of Beasts in Fondia, carrying on with the Orc War Clans taking on the Stormcast Eternals as per usual, and really kind of hammering each other out with it. We also get a battle plan for them as well, so the battle plan Clash on the Coast of Tusks to go through everything as well. So if you are playing through the Flashpoints and everything like that, you can utilise this as well to push through, which is pretty damn cool and pretty decent as well at the same time. So really good stuff from the Age of Sigmar team. They carry on pushing more and more good content out in the magazine as well, which is always really handy to have. Sticking with the Age of Sigmar, but moving into Warcry, it's obviously Warcry has had a big massive release re-release not long ago, with a whole new box set, new terrain, new warbands, and Warcry they want to have another focus on, so they are bringing out more and more bits to it. So the magazine is going to cover off new sections to do with Warcry as well. So if you're new to it, you can kind of go through, and if you have been playing Warcry already, there'll be a few little updates mentioned in here as well. So for the newer rules and updates to certain units that you can utilise throughout everything as well. So now that he's progressed into the Realm of Beasts from good old Varanspire and the 8 points and everything like that. So definitely worth having a read through if you're a Warcry player, or even if you're just new to it. It can give you a bit of information and a bit of background of how the game progresses and how the game is played, and even some of the little rule sets and much more, and what has changed recently as well. So definitely worth having a look through to kind of get going with that. Sticking with the smaller box games though for the Age of Sigmar, there is a nice readers gallery for the Underworlds warbands as well, which look really cool. So there's quite a few just from one painter just here. So he's got literally 5 warbands on these pages, which are all very well painted and very nicely done. So can't complain with them. They can give a little bit of inspiration as well if you are painting up any of these kind of warbands themselves, or even if you're painting up any particular armies and you need a little bit of inspirations for things like good old the Daughters of Cain, for instance, or even some orcs and goblins. You can utilise some of this to give you a bit of painting inspiration. On the other pages there are more and more servers like the Godsworn Hunt, the Sylvaneth, the Sepulchral Guard, the Wormspat as well, just up here. There is more of the Wormspat just on the other page as well. We also have some Stormcast Eternals and some Nighthaunt, giving us all a bit more and more kind of inspiration of how to paint up our armies and get going with it. So definitely worth having a read through and having a nosy at as well. Also, if you need a bit of inspiration and painting tips as well, the Eavy Metal team have also given us kind of some tips and tricks for inspiration for a colour scheme inspired by the Archmage Teclis. So this is for your Lumineth Realm Lords, of course. So if you are a Lumineth player and you don't know how to paint your models yet, you could always utilise this. There are some painting guides and recipes as well for things like such as light blue cloths, how to do ornate gold. Even ether quartz itself is mentioned in here, so you can utilise all of these paint techniques to kind of push through and create your own details as well if you wanted to go for a pale blue colour scheme for your Lumineth, and they will look very similar to them, so they look really good. So I must admit, I do like the Lumineth. They look fantastic for a fantastic army, very nice looking, and these paint schemes are very well done and very nice. They stand out an absolute ton. Even things like if you're not painting up them and you need inspiration for painting scenery, this section here itself can give you some very good looks for Haitian ruins and stuff like that. So definitely worth having a look through, because I say there's some really good bits and pieces in there that can definitely get you a bit inspired. So definitely worth checking out. Then, if you're into it, there is Fate of Barbarous. This is a battle report for Horus Heresy. Horus Heresy obviously being essentially Warhammer 30k, really, and having this big, massive release not long ago. So this is a huge, huge battle report as well. So an 18,000 point battle. So definitely worth having a read through. Very, very interesting as well. Having Space Marines facing up against more Space Marines is very unusual and really, really cool at exactly the same time. So there's a lot going on with it, and a lot. The report itself goes on for quite a while because it's such a huge battle. It's not a very, very, very fast. So the battle report is going to be continued next month from the looks of it, and yeah, it's quite an interesting read as well. If you're into that type of thing and you're into your battle reports, definitely worth having a nosy through and seeing how things progress. But I mean, the battlefield is absolutely stacked with pretty awesome tanks, weaponry. There are reinforcements that are going to be brought in, much more. Absolutely cool, really, really good, and definitely worth having a read through. And then finally, the inside the studio section. So the hobby bingo for most of the good old White Dwarf team is going on really, really well. I didn't do my hobby bingo. I've lost the card. I don't know where it is, and I must admit I've lost track of exactly what I've done. So I will go on with it next year and try and crack on with it. But yeah, for now I've had to give up on it. But yeah, really, really cool painted minis. So some awesome Dark Angels Intercessors. There's an awesome Dark Strider as well. A really, really nicely painted Librarian. And then on the other page we have awesome Dragons. And then an awesome good old Lady of the Vines from Sylvaneth range, one of the newer models. Absolutely fantastic painting models, really, really good stuff and quite enjoyable to see. Now, the next issue of White Dwarf will be on sale on the 21st of October, so we have another month to wait for it, but really, really good stuff. Hopefully they continue with a load of really good bits and pieces, and it's going to be the Great Stomp Part 2, so we'll see what that's all about, but I'm guessing loads of orcs will be involved. But yeah, really, really good stuff. And a decent issue as well, so definitely worth picking up if you're going to pick it up. Have a read through it and yeah, enjoy it. So there is some pretty good good old Warhammer library in there as well. So from the Black Library, the short story, really, really good, and I must admit I really enjoyed it, so definitely worth having a read through. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.